Hello, I'm going to help you use prime factors to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple. We're going to do that for three numbers, namely 20, 35 and 45. We first need to write each number as a product of its prime factors. You do this by dividing by the smallest prime factor that can go into 20. So obviously if it's an even number, 2 is the smallest prime factor that will go into 20. 2 into 20 goes 10 times. Then you try 2 again. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. And now it's clear the next prime number that goes in there is 5. So the last that you'll get here is 1. So this will end with 1. But 1 is not a prime number. So to write 20 as a product of its prime factors, we see them here, 2 times 2 times 5, 2 times 2 times 5. That is 20 written as a product of its prime factors. We now do the same for 35. The smallest prime number that goes in there is 5. 5 into 35 goes 7 times. 7 into 7 goes once. So 35 written as a product of its prime factors is 5 times 7. There they are. Now we look at 45. Now actually I didn't notice that 3 was the smallest prime number that went into 45. I immediately saw 5. So we can start there. 5 into 45 goes 9 times. But then we see 3. 3 into 9 goes 3 times. And 3 into 3 goes once. And then I just arrange it in a better order. So 45 equals 3 times 3 times 5. Now, to use the prime factors to find the highest common factor, what we have to look at is look at which factors are common in all three numbers. Now, at the moment, all I see is a 5. Let's have a look at that. There's a 5, and here's a 5. So 5 is the only number that is common to all three, to 20, 35, and 45. So the highest common factor is equal to 5. Now, we're going to look at the lowest common multiple. Now, when we tackle lowest common multiple, this could be quite a large number because we're looking at multiples of 45, 35, and 20, and to see which one is actually the same, for when do they all overlap. So we do know it's going to be a big number, but we can use our prime factors to get there quite quickly. Firstly, let's start with the smallest prime number, which is 2, and I see that there are 2 2's. So we take each prime factor where there are most. So there are the most here, so it's 2 times 2. Now we look at our numbers again, and we look for where there are any 3's. There they are. There are actually 2 3's. We take them both. Right, so it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Now we look for 5's. There's 1 5 there, there's a 5 there, and there's a 5 there. So there is only 1 5. We take it just once. Times 5. Are there any others? Yes, we have a prime factor of 7. So we're going to take times 7. And that will give us the lowest common multiple. We just have to multiply 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 7. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, times 5 and times 7. 4 9s are 36. 36 times 5 is 180. 180 times 7. Let's just quickly do this. 180 times 7 would be 700 plus 560 equals 1,260. So that equals 1,260. So that certainly is a shorter method than writing out all the multiples of 45, 35, and 20, and then eventually finding 1,260. And in the process of writing them out, you might make some mistakes and then miss it. So this, using prime factors, is by far the best method. Bye.